Something else has happened because of COVID, which is really, really important. While we've all been sitting at home, the whole world started to think. Not just about how much time they waste driving to work, but what kind of future do we want? Especially in a world which seems to be out of control. And before COVID, we were already thinking about this. Before COVID, there was already huge steps to get rid of plastics in the ocean, for instance, and it's continued. Before COVID, we were already concerned about the melting of the ice caps, of glaciers. Before COVID, we were already in this country worried about the impact, let us say, of dust from copper mines settling on the glacier getting hot and the glacier being affected. But it's accelerated a lot, a lot. And this is going to affect every single person on this planet. I asked our chairman of the event just a moment ago, when did it last rain here? I mean, really rain. How many years ago? I think he said it was 15 years ago. 15 years ago. Do you think it's going to rain tomorrow? Put up your hands if you think the drought will end in the next month. Put up your hands if you think the drought may not end for 5 more years. Put up your hands if you think there's no problem. I'm sorry, I don't really understand what's happening here. Clearly, it's a big issue. I'm involved in a program to provide food for hungry children in Zimbabwe, in an area which has become desert. Every year they pray for rain, sometimes they get a bit, and every year they need more food. Those people are going to have to move to survive. So there's a feeling that our world is out of control. At the same time, innovation is doing incredible things. So the price of solar cells is falling by 20% every year. Soon it will be one of the cheapest building materials for the roof of your house or your apartment. The opportunity for solar to do amazing things for our planet is incredible. Wind, less so, unless you live in a windy country. But look at this. Sales of electric cars like this have doubled in the whole world in the last 12 months. In the previous year, they increased, I think, by 75%. This year, we are up 75% on last year. This is going like a rocket. My wife and I have 4 children. 2 out of 4 have bought new electric cars in the last 12 months. Put up your hands if you've bought an electric car. Okay, it's happening more slowly here. In Norway, up to 80% of all new cars in Norway are already electric. Now, why does this matter? I tell you, if you're living in Chile, this really matters. Why? Because if you just look at the amount of lithium needed for Tesla, Tesla is no longer the largest producer of electric cars. But if you look at the lithium that Tesla will need to supply the new factories, which it is building now, it is more than the entire global output of lithium last year. Does this matter? Yes, it does. So if you have, as you do here in Chile, a wonderful natural resource, then you can expect this will be, again, a fantastic business. Now, of course, we have all these disruptions. And unfortunately, one of the most worrying climate events is happening in Russia at the moment. What is it? It's methane. There is more carbon in frozen methane in the world than there is in all the world's coal, oil, or gas. Put up your hands if you knew that. So carbon, that's incredible. More than 50% of the world's carbon is frozen gas, methane. The trouble is, almost all of it is in places which are frozen usually all the year round, in places like Siberia. But I wonder if anybody knows what the temperature was yesterday in the Arctic Circle. The Arctic Circle is where it's supposed to be frozen nearly all the year round. The temperature yesterday was 30 degrees centigrade. Does that matter? Yes, it does. There are parts of Russia where if you take a stick and then you drop a cigarette lighter, you have to, whoop! Suddenly there's a huge flame comes up. Why? Because methane is coming up all the time from the ground. Does it matter? Yes, it does. This is an explosion which happened naturally. It left a huge crater, just methane blowing up. In some parts of Russia, there are so many methane fires that they cannot be put out. Even when the ground is covered with snow and ice, they continue to burn. Slowly, very, very slowly, and then when it melts again, suddenly, boom, up it comes. Does this matter? Yes, it does. I'm saying to you that there are all kinds of things which have not yet begun to impact our climate. If you are already worried about the rain in Santiago, you should be worried about methane. Methane is 100 times more powerful as a gas in warming the atmosphere. The only difference, carbon dioxide stays for thousands of years, methane is used up. So I'm just saying, be careful when we think about the future. This is why I am convinced that we will see a much faster response to global warming than anything we have seen. Things like disruption of Germany's energy supply will push them into solar and wind even more. Things like the methane issue will do the same. Things like water shortages in countries like Chile will do the same. It will force us to think about every molecule of carbon.